Okay, so with exercise 4, we've added to exercise 3. Again, this is the sort of animation that picture the old Bugs Bunny cartoons where they were drawing on those clear cells, and what they did is took a picture of each cell and then displayed them in rapid succession. We're pretty much going to do the same thing here. You'll notice that in addition to our initialize method, we now have a paint method. The paint method works very similar to the paint method that we have in our GUI applications in our JFrame windows. The paint method, the whole purpose of the paint method is to draw the objects and things on the screen. Usually, we're going to want to make sure we call me dot or uh, we call the parent class's paint method and provide the graphics object when we do, so that any other components we've added get drawn first. In this case, since the only thing we're doing is drawing the images on the screen, I'm not even going to worry about that. What you see here is I have two loops. I have an inner loop and an outer loop. What the outer loop is doing is just making sure that the inner loop happens 3 times. So essentially, we're going to display all 10 images in rapid succession 3 times. And I know that because I'm starting at 1 and I'm going to less than or equal to 3. So that means we'll go through the first time. I will be 1, I is less than 3. So we'll do it again. This time around I will be 2. 2 is less than 3. That'll be fine. The next time around, I will be 3. 3 will be equal to 3, so that'll be fine. So we're going to execute the inner code 3 times. Now this inner code right here, what this is essentially a for loop that just calls the draw image method to draw each one of these image objects on the screen. We're simply calling the graphics object, and remember, think of the graphics object as your paintbrush. We're calling the graphics object draw image method, and every time when we do that, we need to provide the image, the starting point, and the canvas in which we want to draw on. In this case, the canvas is going to be our current applet. So we're going to use the keyword this. And what that's going to do is just draw the current image on the screen. Then you'll see this try catch. Anytime we do anything with threading, we have to have a try catch statement. We're going to call thread.sleep, and we're going to pause for a quarter of a second. The sleep method takes the number of milliseconds you want to pause your program. So by calling thread.sleep, we're pausing the program for a quarter of a second before we then run through the loop again. And we're going to do that until we hit the end of that loop. Then we're going to come back to our outer loop, and we're just going to start the whole thing over again. Once you create your HTML file, if you run it, what you see is Duke, who is the Java mascot, up there waving. Now the problem is we're just displaying these images right. We're just keep redrawing these images on the screen, and we draw over top of each one. So we essentially create this layering, and by the time he waves, it's just a big blotch of black. There is a way we can sort of clean this up a bit. What I would do is right after we do the pause, I would draw a box I might call g.drawRec. Actually, I would probably call fillRec. Actually, let's do this. Let's set the color to white. Then let's draw let's do a filled rec. Again, same thing that we do before. We're going to start at 10, 10, and I'm going to make it 100 by 100. We'll do a 100 by 100 square. And let's see what this does for us. First of all, I'm going to compile this. Oh, good, I didn't make any errors. And now, that's not working for us. Wonder why. Well, that didn't work. What we would probably have to do, and I have a feeling it is how the image is drawn on the canvas versus how shapes are drawn on the canvas. Um, what we would probably have to do is also have a blank image in there and mix that blank image in to our array, and that would solve the what we're seeing now with the images and just continuously drawing over top. Um, Not the easiest thing, but can be very easily fixed. Again, I might have my solution to this might be to create a GIF file that is as big as the images that we have, create a blank GIF file, and load it in between every image so that we get an opportunity to um, clean up the canvas, if you will, before we move on to the next, before we display the next image, and that'll help prevent some of that overlap there. But you get the idea. You're displaying these images in rapid succession, and you essentially get an animation effect. Congratulations, you've done your first animation in Java, animation in Java. We are going to go on and add. You're gonna see a discussion of what is called the media tracker. And the nice thing about the media tracker is while the images are loading up, it can display a separate message until those items are loaded. So you're going to read a little bit about how to use the image tracker, and then we're going to again add to our current application with exercise 5. And in exercise 5, we're going to add the media tracker for the loading. We're not really going to change much of what we do, but I think you'll see that it works really well.